Welcome back to all our friends, family, and yes, even our foes. To the Foxx Den Sports Podcast, where Todd and his sports-passionate kids are ready to bring you the latest updates and insights on all things sports. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Now, here are your hosts, Kellen, Garrett, Gannon, and coming to you from the Foxx Den, their dad, Todd Fox.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Foxx Den Sports Podcast. We want to thank all those who are taking time out of their day to give us a listen. We appreciate that. We're going to jump right in to the Super Bowl from last night, the 40-22 beatdown that the Eagles put on the Kansas City Chiefs. And you know what? We need to start off with the man who predicted them to win. I think he was the only one of us that predicted him to win, was the dog, Kellen the Dog Fox. So, Kellen, how'd you know it? Let's hear it.
I mean, I hate the Chiefs. I'm not going to pick the Chiefs, but also I think the Eagles are better in every area other than quarterback and head coach. I think their defense as a whole is better. Their running game's obviously better. They have better receivers, better all-around line. So they should win. And yeah, I just thought it was a good matchup. I still don't think the Chiefs were even the best team in their conference. I think they just are. Other teams get spooked when they see them in the playoffs. They can't play them because it's like they know what they're capable of. So they just don't perform. But yeah, I just thought that the Eagles were a better team.
Clay, give us a little rundown on kind of what your thoughts were, because I know I wasn't expecting it to go that way for sure, like a beatdown. And then it was like, was it like 24-0 or 27-0 at one point? I don't even remember. Well, heck, I think it was even worse than that before the Chiefs even finally scored.
It was 20,
like 30 or
6 at some point.
I don't know, but
26 at some point. Yeah.
Tell us, give us a little rundown on what your thoughts were.
Well, I think the biggest thing is pretty obvious. I mean, they're just they kept saying it was going to be a battle of the trenches, and I thought the Chiefs had a good enough line. They got an all-pro center and everybody that I thought that they could hold their own, but it's just, I mean, it's hard to watch on TV and stuff, but they, were just making many claims that the Eagles didn't blitz the entire night. I was able to get them right at 6 sacks and just with the front four. And, I mean, you're not going to win any games if you can do that.
Right.
And the Chiefs, I think a couple of times, tried to leave Travis Kelce into block, tried to leave Samaje Perine into block, Pacheco, but not very much. I thought they should have done it a lot more. But you can't put Kelce on a defensive end and expect him to block him. And, I mean, just
not to be successful, no.
No, because then you got Kelce in not catching balls, and that's why he didn't catch any in the first half, because they couldn't hold him off. And so, I mean, that was the absolute difference in the game. Obviously, you can say turnovers, but when he couldn't see, he got that one right there on the 15-yard line. He got crushed as soon as he threw it. I mean, yeah, it's a bad throw, but he had half his body laying on the ground,
sure,
not knowing that was going to happen. So that was the definitely difference in the game. And because I thought the Chiefs did a pretty good job on Barkley, probably the best anybody's done all year. And but
I think they went all in on Barkley though, and that's where Barkley carried them all season, and now it's like they go all in on that. And Jalen he's got a good receiving core, so it's like he's able to, and he's got legs too.
They were just like, all right, Jalen, you're going to have to beat us, and he did.
Sure. Gannon, what were your thoughts?
I mean, I don't know, just every area of the game, they just got outperformed and dropped passes that maybe easier, hard to catch. They dropped plenty of passes. Philadelphia caught plenty of passes that were back against the wall in one drive or one series maybe. And if you stack up those little wins of, you catch that third down pass or you don't get to a third down, and then on defense, they drop pass, pressure after every single snap. it looked honestly like Kansas City did all year. Philadelphia just didn't let them come back in it.
Right.
I remember you always had this, like you'd always say, like don't let the worst team like hang around until the end because then you never know what's going to happen. And Philadelphia was definitely the better team, and they did not let Kansas City hang around. They just kept putting the gas on them, and that was like, it was just honestly just not even a.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's a fair matchup because they're both incredible teams, but last night it wasn't. Like they just got totally outclassed.
And that's amazing. I mean, it was 34. I'm looking at it right now. It was 34-0 at one point until 34 seconds left in the third quarter, and the Chiefs finally scored. But looking at it, I didn't even realize this because you're watching the game, and Mahomes was just under pressure, constant pressure.
I've never seen him under pressure
No.
like that.
And the Eagles.
Well, last time we did was Tampa Bay. When he lost that Super Bowl.
Right. And I didn't realize this, but the Eagles did not even blitz one time, and they sacked him 6 times. I assumed that they blitzed because I was like, all these guys are constantly, and that's not even counting the times that he got out of it or got rid of the ball, and then he didn't seem like he was on point, obviously, with his passes. A lot of them went down towards the feet. I don't know if he's doing that on purpose so it doesn't get picked. I have no clue. Those 2 interceptions, the one obviously for a touchdown, and then the one he's in the end zone throws and the guy's at the 10-yard line and intercepts it. That was like 14 points right there, and that's ball game. I mean, at that point. And I kept expecting, because the Chiefs to get on a roll, a little bit of a roll, and I figured
you're always waiting for it. Yeah,
I figured they'd score right before half, and they get the ball back and score again and make it a competitive game. Never happened, and that was what was shocking to me. You know, they held Saquon to 25 carries, and he had, I think, 57 yards. I think is what I saw a minute ago. Yeah, 57 yards. But he did have 6 catches for 40.
I'd say he had 97 total.
Yeah, so good for him. Jalen Hurts had the most rushing yards. He had 72. But they completely shut these guys down, which is unbelievable to see from what we've seen in the past. That just goes to show you how hard it is to three-peat regardless. Because, I mean, just think somebody's got, like Philadelphia would have to win it 2 years in a row, and I just don't see – I mean, I don't see it happening, but you never know. But it's very difficult. It's very difficult. And then, do one of you guys have that Carson Wentz thing that I sent you guys? Want to read that out, Kellen, or whoever, Gannon, whoever? The amount of people they got for trading him, because, you know, he was their number one guy, and I remember he got hurt that one time, and then Foles came in, led him to the Super Bowl. And I think, was it the next time? I don't know when it was. Well, not next time, but they got Hurts. How many years he's been in the league? Is it 3 or 4 now? But regardless,
I want to say 4.
But yeah, regardless, he's there, and Carson Wentz is watching, you know, the Eagles beat his team, and they traded a king's ransom. It looks like now. Who's got that info?
It was, at least this picture has Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Jalen Carter, and Cooper DeJean.
Yeah, they got all that for him. I mean, you know, they dispersed it out and made that happen. So,
yeah.
When you see these trades and you're thinking, oh, well, whatever. I mean, Philadelphia, I think you all would agree, is probably one of the best ran organizations in football. Yeah. I mean, Baltimore's pretty good. Who else would you put up? The Chiefs are good, very well ran. Who else do you all think rivals those guys? It's those. Is it just those 3 are the main ones, and a lot of guys in the middle, and then you got some stinkers on the bottom? Because there's some really, really ran organizations out there.
Chiefs. I mean, I think the 49ers are pretty well ran.
You're right. Yeah.
I think we might be seeing a turnaround for the Commanders. That quick turnaround they had this year, they might end up. But obviously, I'm not going to say they're up there yet. But they're on the up and coming.
Well, yeah, they get rid of their
Would you put
owner.
Pittsburgh in there?
Yeah, Pittsburgh would be in there.
Maybe not like tier 1, but they're up.
They're close. So they're very well ran. They just need a more of an emphasis on getting an offensive line and a quarterback. But I mean,
I think the Texans are really well ran. Joe Mixon was on the radio the other day, and just the things he was comparing the Texans to Cincinnati. it was like night and day, just how much better.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, little things like coming in from practice and there's being a whole thing of snacks and food for them to eat after practices, just juice that they could take. And because Cincinnati didn't have that, and the Texans have it.
Cincinnati has to be one of the worst ran organizations.
Yeah,
Like they have one of the best quarterbacks. They have a top 3 quarterback, top 3 receiver. They had Mixon. Their coach is terrible. We've been saying since Burrow's rookie year to fix that line. Like they are they're carried by Joe Burrow to make them not look like a poverty franchise, but they're poverty.
No, I totally agree. I think Cleveland is definitely one of those worst ran
Cleveland's
teams.
the worst.
The Jets,
Giants.
Out of Carolina as
Indianapolis.
well.
We're the ones that freaking traded for Carson Wentz. Indianapolis is terrible.
it's pretty sad. And then you
I
got
think Dallas has ran well. It just makes horrible personnel decisions.
yeah, they've got something. There's something there that it's just the culture piece of it is terrible. Speaking of Dallas, so let's. I mean, well, they're just we'll say that for another podcast. Sorry, I was going to say something about it, but let's just go back to Super Bowl. You see the beatdown. The Chiefs were humbled, obviously. You see, where do you think they go from here? I know it's easy. Sounds easy to say, that they won't be back. I had a guy at work tell me today that the Chiefs will win at least 8 more Super Bowls in the next 15 years, and I'm looking at him like, no shot. But I mean, he truly believes that.
There's no way.
Years.
Yeah, he goes, they will win 8.
I could see them winning 2 more in the next 10.
Yeah,
maybe 3. But I don't think they win more. I don't think Mahomes wins 7 total.
No.
Because he is good. But
8 in the next 15 is just, that doesn't even make sense.
Mahomes will not play for 15 years. He's not playing until he's 41.
You never
I
know.
don't care if he plays 100 years, dude. 8 and 15 is crazy.
No.
We aren't really sitting on that one. I know.
Tell this guy he doesn't know ball. Clearly,
he's a big Chiefs fan. He was like, and that's not even counting the ones they'll go to and they'll lose, but they'll win 8. They will win 8. And I'm like, there's no.
Was he a Chiefs fan before Mahomes, or is he?
Yeah, no, he's
been
a Chiefs fan. He's been a Chiefs fan.
I think the biggest thing with the Chiefs is they got to get out of this mode of we can just make it work with whoever.
Yeah.
Because they've been terrible at running back.
Yeah.
Forever. And they don't care to draft one. I'm not saying they got to get a Saquon Barkley or Derrick Henry, but they got to get somebody that can block. I mean,
an above average,
but he's so little. Are they tried on the receivers this year? They got Marquise Brown and DeAndre Hopkins, but they're both hurt.
Yeah.
Most of the year. I think Travis Kelce's probably going to retire.
Yeah.
So, they got to shore up that line, get them a running back if they want to have a chance next year.
Because since a couple or a few years ago, you've seen just a steady decline in how dominant they are. And I think this is the worst that they can be with any chance at a Super Bowl.
And I think those teams in that division are getting better. I think the Chargers are only going to get better with Harbaugh there. I think the Broncos are going to get better with Sean Payton. And then, to be honest with you, I mean, I think Pete Carroll, even though he's great great grandpa or whatever, but he'll help turn those guys around. I can guarantee you. I'm not saying they're not going to win at all, but they're going to be better and going to be more competitive. And the thing is, I mean, they may not win the division because it's so hard because they're all going to beat up on each other.
Though, it makes a difference having one team in your division that you play twice a year, and it's like bottom of the barrel. You're going to win that versus they're going to put up at least a fight.
Sure, and it'll be at least another year before that happens. Having Tom Brady there, I mean, I think is definitely going to help because that's another one of the organizations that's been poorly ran for years, and they're finally, it looks on it now. We won't know for years to come. It looks like they're at least making attempts to get some things changed there, and I truly think and you guys probably all agree. I mean, it's the quarterback. I mean, you got to get the quarterback right for sure to even unless you got like a 85 Bears or 2000 Baltimore Ravens defense, 2 of the best of all time. You got to have a quarterback.
You have to have either a great elite, and you have to have an elite quarterback or such a great team and a good game manager. Like
Well, like
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
I think he's 5 or 6, but I'm not going to say he's better than Mahomes, Lamar, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. But he's got such a great team around him, and he knows how to use it.
Sure.
He doesn't have to be the best quarterback in the league.
No, I agree 100%. Clay, you got anything to add?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. Thanks for being here, Clay. Just kidding. No, you hear all these rumors, and that's where I just get sick and tired of it, because anytime there's a player out there like Myles Garrett who put, "Hey, I want to be traded," people are like, "Oh, the Dallas Cowboys." Dallas isn't going to do jack. They're not going to try to get anybody. They don't want to pay anybody big money. That's another podcast. But Matt Stafford is thought to possibly go to the Raiders, which I think would make them better. What about Aaron Rodgers? Because what's that?
Kirk Cousins will probably end up at the Raiders.
You got Kirk Cousins, but I've also heard his name go for the 49ers, is what I've heard. He's got that relationship with those guys there. You got Sam Darnold, perhaps somewhere out there, and then Aaron Rodgers was told basically take a hike by the Jets. If you're, let's say, the Raiders, or even the Cowboys, well, it can't be the Cowboys. They got Dak. They're not going to pay anybody. But if you're the Raiders, would you even attempt to bring in somebody like an Aaron Rodgers?
Not Aaron Rodgers, no.
What pick do they have in the draft?
I want to say 7. I want to say like right around 6, 7-ish, right around.
They were so sure that
because it's possible that Shedeur Sanders drops. I have no idea. You read something.
6.
Is it 6?
Yeah, or the Jets have 7. Yeah.
Okay. I've heard Shedeur Sanders perhaps being there. Don't know. I think he's one of those guys that somebody would trade up and try to grab. What were you going to say?
Where should go get Jameis Winston?
No shot. We don't know Jamies.
Springs are great.
What Gary used to call him? Jamies. And what was that other guy? The tight end for the Saints. What was his name?
Jimmy Graham.
He was a little kid though, so hey, we'll 19, 20. But anyway, anything else? Anything else with the Super Bowl? I don't know if you guys saw this. There's a video out there. If I can find it, I'll send it to you. P. Ryan dropped a pass at some point, and Mahomes is going over to the sideline and like, is it dabbing or dapping? What do they call that? Where you like,
dapping.
Okay, whatever. I'm not into that stuff, but whatever. Dapping all the players. They're right there on the bench, and he goes over Pirine, doesn't even acknowledge Pirine, and keeps going. That's right there why I'm not a big Mahomes fan right there, because I guarantee
I would bet you there's more context though.
I'm sure there is, but when I see after the there was a game, I think it was last year, that the Bills won in Kansas City, and he gets he's always like, hey, how you doing? Or great, great game, whatever. But this one, he was telling Josh Allen, he was cussing, and how the refs, blew it, and I'm like, that may be the real guy right there. That may be the real guy.
There's clips of Allen doing the same thing.
I didn't say there wasn't. I'm just saying I think there's
But then this year, Patrick Mahomes is praising the refs, and the refs were on their side this whole year until this game.
That's the reason I'm not.
That's just a pointless thing to bring up, because it's just.
I don't think it is.
I think it is. Yeah.
Do you?
Mahomes is no class.
Marjorie won't be on that team next year.
No, he won't. That's you see players like that you want to see get a ring. Unfortunately, he didn't. He was unable to get.
You want to see him get a ring, but it's not gonna. It's a different kind of ring. It's not like, oh, this guy carried his team. Like, you're on the team, but like, it's different than those guys that are were the reason they got the ring. Like,
sure,
Saquon. He didn't do a whole lot yesterday, but he's the reason they got here.
Well, yeah,
Smaje would be like, okay, he's got a ring just because he was there.
And to your point, I think they really put a focus on trying to stop him. Definitely.
No, that opened up everything else. And
did you guys watch?
Did
y'all watch the halftime show at all? I did not. I was driving back home, but was it good? I got no clue. I don't even. Who was it anyway?
Kendrick Lamar.
And you have heard of him before?
He's one of the best rappers alive. Yeah.
Gannon, have you heard of him?
He killed Drake.
Yeah.
Clay, you heard of him?
I've heard of him, and then everybody keeps talking about all the symbolism, and this guy's like a poet and all this stuff. I'm like, well, that'd help if maybe you explain that beforehand, because I just sit there and go, what is this? This music is putting me to sleep because I can't understand a word he's saying, and I don't know what he's saying, and he's just walking around and blah, 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 blah. He's like, Charlie Brown's teacher was up there, and I was like, all right, well, I'm going to go do some
or Joe Biden.
Now.
But yeah.
He's the only hip hop artist to win 5 Grammys at one time, and he's done it 3 times.
Gannon, you were going to say something a minute ago? Whenever you were...
I thought like the actual like performance was like fine. The cool part of it was definitely like the context behind this last summer with him and Drake.
Yeah, it's supposed to be all about
it was. I thought with that context, honestly, it was
they've got
really
a beef
good.
or something.
It was
like
also
that?
kind of like it's kind of funny though because it had like I don't know. I think everything else other than like that like deep context, it was honestly a pretty lame show because there's nothing that was like Super Bowl performance. I mean, I don't know if he did or didn't, but it was pretty lame looks wise.
Yeah,
I didn't realize this.
Just like knowing what's going on, though, it's pretty cool.
PlayStation controller until somebody said that today. I'm like, why don't they explain this beforehand? Give me a little.
Yeah, that way you can kind of look for it. Yeah, I have no idea.
Like if
I
you
guess
pick,
my
you
thing
want to
with
pick
the
up
Super
on it
Bowl
naturally.
show. I guess my thing with the Super Bowl halftime show is you have such a wide range of people watching. Why would you pick somebody that only a select few people like? I know people like him, and that's cool, whatever. But just a very few people understood it, and you got.
So who would you pick? Because
Def Leppard,
one of the
100%.
biggest names.
Taylor Swift, dude. Everybody knows Taylor Swift.
Def Leppard.
Taylor's not. Well, Taylor doesn't need to do it. They don't pay you to do the Super Bowl
You're right.
halftime show.
But I mean, stuff like.
Yeah, you're right. That should be like a more general.
Kendrick Lamar is one of the
kind
biggest
style
names
of music
in the country right now.
I got no clue.
So I'm just saying when it comes to like people that people know, he's one of the most popular in the country, in the world. So like.
I mean, I don't like country music, but somebody like Carrie Underwood or Blake Shelton or somebody like that.
But nobody outside of people from Oklahoma.
I agree with Clay.
I agree.
I
agree with what you're saying, but that's a little far on the other end of the
to me,
spectrum.
it's the same thing though.
Garth Brooks.
There's not anybody. There's not a person in this country that everybody likes.
You're right. No, I agree.
No, I agree with that. But I just feel like Kendrick Lamar is a small group of people because you can't tell me that anybody above the age of 40 enjoyed that last night.
Right.
Because then nobody, like, if you don't listen to it and understand what he's about, you're not going to get it. I didn't understand any of it until I watched a video that somebody explained every single thing that went on. I go, oh, okay.
I mean,
well,
you
so
say
bad.
small group of people, but he's the 9th most listened to artist in the world on Spotify.
Who's number one? Just curious. Who's 1 through 8? If you have
go through 1 through 8, and we'll see if
I'm
any
just
of them would
1
be
through
better.
8.
I wonder if I know any of these guys. If you've got it. But yeah,
Taylor Swift's gotta be
if it's not Def Leppard, I'm probably not going to watch.
Right now, it's Bruno Mars number 1. I think he might have done the Super Bowl already.
He's done one before.
I know who he is.
He would be better, but he's done one before.
Usher.
Number 2 is The Weeknd. You guys aren't going to know who that is.
Oh, he's done one before.
He's
too.
really good. Number 3, Lady Gaga.
No shot.
Oh,
Number
heck no.
4, Billie Eilish, but she's good. Nobody wants her for a Super Bowl.
Her name's Billie.
Number 5, Bad Bunny. He's a Mexican rapper. You guys don't know him.
I saw him on Jimmy
Number
Fallon.
6,
He was pretty
Coldplay.
awesome.
He's done one before too, hadn't he?
No clue.
I don't know.
Coldplay
I think so. Actually, I think Coldplay has. Number 7, Rihanna. She did it the last time the Eagles and the Chiefs played.
Okay.
Number 8, Taylor Swift. She's not going to do it while her boyfriend's in the Super Bowl. And she doesn't need it.
I think 4 of those have already done.
Number 8, or I'm sorry, number 9, Kendrick Lamar. Number 10, SZA. She was there on stage with Kendrick Lamar.
SZA?
Number 11, yeah.
I don't even know who that is.
SZA. Number 11, Ariana Grande. Number 12, Justin Bieber.
Washed.
Bieber?
Number 13.
You know
Number
Ariana Grande,
13.
Todd.
Still got Bieber fever.
Number 13, Drake. Number 14, Eminem. Number 15, some dude named David Guetta. So,
yeah,
I'm just saying, like, when it comes, like, I know what you guys are saying, but like most of the world knows who he is.
Yeah,
you're in the smaller percentile of.
They know the age, the demographics, and all that, and I get it.
And also, a lot of big people don't want to do the Super Bowl because they don't get paid for it. They actually go out of pocket to pay for.
Really?
Yeah.
There's no way they're
Apple
doing that
Music
for free.
gives them a little money for the production, but a lot of them go out of pocket. It's more publicity.
I'd say it's more just to get
And
your
some of
name
these
out.
guys
Like-
don't need it. Yeah.
Rihanna's
I'll do it.
sales a few years ago. She hasn't released music in a while, as far as I know, but her
I'd do it
music
for free.
went back up to the top, and her sales for her like clothing brand went crazy after she did it a couple years ago. So it's
Who's
just
that?
publicity.
Rihanna?
She did it last time the Eagles and Chiefs played.
So there was two guys I know your mom was wanting to see is Jelly Roll. I guess he was like did something before and then or was going to do something. I don't know. And then who's what's Post Malone? Who's like why couldn't is Post Malone well known?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, is
No clue
do we
who
know
he
who
is.
where are the next few Super Bowls? Do we know?
Post Malone's like a big
Next
Cowboys
year's in
fan.
San
Yeah,
Francisco.
Post Malone, because Post Malone, if they ever have a game in Dallas,
Oh, yeah,
I
he'll do it.
guarantee
Yeah.
Post Malone will be the
It's,
halftime show.
next year's in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Then I think it's Atlanta.
I'll tell you the best one.
Atlanta.
The best one I ever saw was Michael Jackson back in I don't even know what year that was. It was good though. It was pretty good.
94.
Because
remember
I think
Justin Timberlake.
Dallas was in the Super Bowl. I truly do. I may be wrong, but I mean I think Dallas was in the Super Bowl. I was thinking 92, but I don't know if that's accurate.
You remember the Justin
that-
Timberlake show?
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like
Remember
people as big as Michael Jackson now don't do it. Like The
Right.
Weeknd, he's not as big as Michael Jackson, but he's one of the biggest right now, and his performances are supposed to be crazy. But
The
he doesn't
Weeknd?
do this.
I literally never heard of him. Is that a
He
person?
did a Super Bowl show a few years ago, didn't he?
Well, I probably didn't watch because I don't watch that stuff.
No,
Sorry,
it was like 5 or 6 years ago. I think
Either
he
way,
did,
The
'cause he-
Weeknd's number 2 on that list I just showed.
I've seen him on the weekdays, but not weekends.
Yeah, I thought it was like Tuesday or something.
Super Bowl LV. Which number is that?
60.
He
In
did do it.
Tampa.
Oh no, it's LV. That's 50.
You said he did
55.
do it, Gannon?
Yeah, that was the
LV
Broncos
is
one.
That was the
That's-
Broncos
That
and
was
Carolina.
before he was as big as he is now, probably. But like,
2021. That was not the Broncos. That was
Huh? Super Bowl
was that
50?
the Rams? Was 2021 the Rams and Bengals?
21 is what it
LV
says.
is 55.
Oh, I got no idea.
Yeah, I don't know why I said the Roman numerals like
like
any
you
of
guys
us
were
would
talking
know.
about-
Just say the
I
number.
know.
I don't have any idea. Roman.
Well, I
numerals.
didn't see. I said it right when I saw the number.
This
Didn't
guy
say
doesn't know
the
who Kendrick
actual number.
Lamar
my
and The
Roman
Weeknd is. You
numerals.
think he knows
LV.
Roman
What
numerals?
I'm saying is half of those
Meaning
guys.
5, so it's 55.
We can move on after this, but half of those guys have done them already, so it makes sense that
I didn't
guess
realize
he
The
was-
Weeknd
Def Leppard
was-
hasn't.
but- Is Def Leppard even alive?
there would be
Yeah,
like
they are.
like
Get
4%
up there
of
with
the
Their
world that
concert
would enjoy
in
that.
August.
Love is like a bomb, baby. Come and get it on.
Nobody wants to see a bunch of 80-year-olds
I
get
do.
up there. And,
Yeah, you remember last time we saw that was Dolly Parton? Didn't she do
Oh.
one?
that was like
There's
Thanksgiving.
no
or
way
something.
she did
Yeah,
a
that
Super
was
Bowl. What are you
terrible.
talking
It was
about?
a Thanksgiving, and it was really bad.
That was awful. That was very uncomfortable.
Whatever. Well,
Yeah,
there's not a whole lot of talk more on the Super Bowl. We got other subjects we'll talk about in the next few weeks. At some point, I want to get in, not today, but I want to get into like the possibility of the 18-game schedule. Because I don't know if you guys have seen, but Super Bowl 61, 2 years from now, is on February 14th. It's on a Sunday. And the next day is President's Day. Basically, they push it back a week. So people are thinking there may be an 18-game schedule. However,
Did you say February
gonna-
14th?
2 years since. And,
They're going to put a Super Bowl on Valentine's Day?
why would they not? What are you talking about?
Valentine's Day fault for being on a Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. Don't be on Sunday.
Give me something to do.
Either way, if they do an 18-game season, they need 2 bye weeks.
Let's talk about that another time.
Maybe we can get out of work on that Monday.
Yeah, good luck. Not well, you may. I won't. All right, here we go. Let's talk Oklahoma City Thunder for the next 6 hours. Just kidding. The Thunder are on a 5-game winning streak. They won 4 games since we had the podcast. They beat Milwaukee, beat Phoenix, beat Toronto, and beat Memphis. And they are playing here shortly here against New Orleans. My question is, first off, they played 3 games in 4 days, and they're getting ready to play 4 games in 6 days. What are your thoughts on that?
Why
Say it
you did
again.
that.
It's more ridiculous.
They were when they went to Memphis. That was their third game in 4 days, and then today will be 4 in 6. Me personally, I think it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, obviously they're a younger team, but what are your thoughts on something like that?
No, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if they're a younger team because other teams are doing that too. And I think it's the dumbest thing how they can't
figure that out.
It's honestly just kind of like not very respectful to the players because you're wanting them to bring in money and play a lot of years. Then you're putting them straight to the ground.
And then you're getting mad when the guys miss games for rest.
Yeah,
and
they have every right to miss a few games.
Yeah, like a random ankle something. They're going to be out for a couple of days. But, if you just didn't play them back-to-back days, they'd be
4 and 6 is unreal. I think it's pretty honestly just stupid. And if they have to do that many, I think they should just lower the amount of games. Pretty simple.
Well, I know Chet sent out the was it a tweet on X or whatever it's called? I don't know what they call it anymore, but that said I'm back. So he played I believe it was Friday night. He only ended up I believe with like maybe 4 points, but he brings a different mentality to the game. He's not just an offensive guy; he's one of the best defensive players too.
Four blocks.
Oh yeah, 4
2
blocks.
Steals.
How many?
2 steals.
Yeah, and I think he played 22 minutes. He is playing tonight. He did not play against Memphis. What are your thoughts there with Chet being back? I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, it was awesome.
March, and
they said end of February.
Did they?
Well, and it's mid-February, so that's huge.
Yeah, it was huge. I mean, we started texting each other, going nuts. It's pretty cool seeing him back. Any other?
I don't think.
Go ahead.
If we're healthy, I don't think there's any team in the West that can beat us more than 2 games in a series.
Really?
I think our biggest challenge in the playoffs will just be the finals, assuming that it's either Cleveland or Boston. If we're healthy, man, there's nobody in the West that's coming close to us.
It's just amazing. This is such a young team, and they're so good. And then they got Chet back, and then I know Caruso's back. I know Dort was out against Memphis. How many guys were out against Memphis? Dort and who else?
Dort, Chet, and
was it Joe?
No, he played.
I think was it Wallace?
I didn't see Kendrick Williams. Case and Wallace didn't play.
Case and Wallace.
And then you can throw in Mitchell too if you want to, because he's been out a while, but you can still toss him in there.
Topic.
Yeah. Well, one thing I love too is, did you see there's a play whenever Shea was going to lay it up and Jaren Jackson just basically shoved him out of midair? Did you see that one?
Yeah,
I probably did. I just don't remember.
He went to go help Shea up, but at the same time, like, he was talking right back to Jackson because he just like shoved our obviously big player. So one thing I love is you could notice that with the addition of Chet a couple years ago, or for last year, I guess is what I'm referring to. Like, he kind of added that like firepower where he wasn't going to back down, or like he's humble, but he's not just going to be quiet a lot of the time. But then we also added Hartenstein, so we have two of our big men who are like playing like stars in this role they have, and neither of them are backing down to anybody, which I love, because that was one of the biggest missing pieces that we had a couple years ago last year, of just like guys who are going to take the initiative and not just kind of like play it cool, because you need people to play it cool, but you also need a couple of those guys to really kind of like ignite a fire.
Yeah, Hartenstein has been a huge addition. What were you going to say, Clay?
I was going to say one of the biggest things I see from last year to this year is we didn't really have any injuries last year. And
no, we didn't at all.
And look at our injuries we have this year, and we still have the best record in the NBA, exactly shoring up what Gannon said, adding Hartenstein.
Caruso.
Caruso. And they've been hurt. Then you got Chet hurt. You got Wallace hurt. You got Dort hurt. You've got Caruso.
J-Dub was out a few games, wasn't he?
He was.
J-Dub missed a lot of the beginning of the year.
Jay will, yeah.
And, and so it just it's unbelievable that we are playing this good and winning this many games. But I think if there's any team in the league that can handle 4 games in 6 nights, it's the Thunder, because of our depth. When you throw in
100%.
Isaiah Joe,
Wiggins, man,
Wiggins.
since the new year,
he's been
going nuts.
Saturday, he was unbelievable with the 3-point he was making. I was like, oh my gosh! I go, and another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. So those, I think that to me is exactly why super teams aren't working anymore.
Right, because they don't have any depth.
Yeah, because SGA can't play all these minutes, and so You run out these fresher guys that have been playing all year long. They're going to be ready to go.
Well, here's something cool with our record of being 42-9, right? This is like any team in the NBA to start with that record are 13 of 23 for winning the finals. And with all those in the past, there's like 91% of them made it out of the first round, 78% made it out of the second round, 65% made it to the finals, and then 56% won the finals. Teams that had this record or better of 42-9, is that what I said?
Yeah.
Which is pretty huge because we've never had as good of a start as this. And it's just like, it feels like it is all kind of lining up for this. Not just this year, but this is the first year that you can confidently say we should, like our standards are winning it all. Because last year's like, we didn't really have a standard because it was kind of loose and we didn't expect to be that good last year. But this year it's, like I said, the first time since 2016 that we have a right to expect to win it all. And that's almost a decade. So that's huge.
It's very, very huge. I know. I want to talk about Memphis. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say Dallas. Anthony Davis is hurt now. So
yeah, he's hurt. That
may not even make the playoffs.
They got the full Anthony Davis experience in one game, going down half, non-contact injury at the second. Like, feel bad for him because he is good. He didn't deserve all the hate for the trade.
The dumb trade.
It's not his fault. He got traded for a much better younger player, but. It's just crazy.
But then that happens. It's just like that guy, man.
That's what everybody kept talking about with him. It was like, yeah, he is good, but he don't play.
I did want to touch base just real quick on Memphis. I know Memphis had won 10 out of 11, and then they were completely healthy, and then they had 2 days off, and the Thunder were coming off the 3 games in 4 nights. That was their third game in 4 nights, and we put it to them. And we were destroying them. I think there was at one point maybe we were close to up by 30, and then
28.
Yeah, and then they finally started coming back a little bit. And I think we kind of took the pedal or the foot off the pedal a little bit, but they played a really good game. Is there any concern? I think I know the answer. Any concern? I know, like with because when we got Caruso, and I mean obviously he's more for he's defense, offense, whatever. But he's a 37% three-point shooter, but he's only 30% this year. You think that's going to come along? Because
Oh yeah, because even he started at, I want to say, low 20s.
Yeah.
Because man, he was missing everything. And I remember over Christmas break, especially, I think I was watching all those games and like, man, he just wasn't making them. So he's already lifting it up. I think it'll balance out.
Okay.
I mean, a 37%'s a pretty good percent to have for a player that's not their specialty. And I think he'll at least hit 35, I bet you.
Perfect. That will be perfect because I love the guy.
Oh, he's the best.
All right, I got 2 questions for you guys. The first one being, have you ever pretended to love someone's cooking even though it was terrible? Too scared to say who it is or what?
I know I have. I can't put my finger on like, this one time.
You don't have to say. Okay, you don't have to say the name. But what was it? Do you remember, Clay? What was it you ate? That you were just like, okay, that's pretty good.
I'd say probably maybe it wasn't cooking. It was just the food I didn't like.
Okay.
Is that fair? So maybe like just not a big fan of the box macaroni and cheese. When it'd get thrown in front of me as the only thing to eat, I would like not have dinner.
Gotcha.
So it really wasn't that it was cooked bad. It was just the choice was made for me.
Not a fan of it.
Yeah, and that was just last night.
Kellen, what about you? What do you got?
I can't think of a specific time, but I know it's usually like at a friend's house or something. Like, Mom was a good cook, Taylor's a good cook, so like I don't got to worry about that for me. But it's like you're at a friend's house and you're like starving, load up a plate, then you got to do that. You got to fold the plate get it to the trash can. Maybe take some other people's, like, oh, you guys done with that? Stack it on top of yours.
Put it upside down, push it real down low.
Then you put it upside down in the trash can. I didn't realize that was such a common thing until later. I was like, man, everybody knew what I was doing. But like, there's definitely been some times, I just can't think of a specific meal, but it's like.
Yeah, I've been at restaurants where you order stuff and you're just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I just paid $20 for that.
Garbage.
And it's like, you can't really complain because it's not like it was prepared wrong. It's just not prepared well. Like, they followed the recipe, but it's trash.
Again, it's kind of like when we made those biscuits that one day and we messed up on the baking powder.
I was thinking about that. We flipped whichever way.
Baking powder or baking soda. We did one or the other.
But we didn't pretend to like them, though. We knew that would be bad.
Baking powder and biscuits? Baking soda?
I don't know what it was. One or the other. We were supposed to use.
I don't know what it was, but we flipped it. Yeah.
You put baking soda instead of baking powder, and things probably exploded.
They just weren't very good.
They were real flat. They were like this.
Yeah.
Also, remember those biscuits I made over break? Those things freak, dude. I tried to follow that recipe. It's like Kellen said, I followed the recipe. Man, those were bad.
That's crazy. All right. My final question is, what's one skill that you wish you had that you don't have now? What's a skill you wish you had?
I wish I could sing.
Me too.
Why don't you sing for us, Glenn?
Love is like a bomb, baby. Come and get it on.
That's kind of similar to that food situation.
Make some quesadillas.
Yeah, that was great. That's great.
Make some quesadillas.
That's our horse. What are the quesadillas?
I want to be a skilled. Oh,
I wish I could play like.
I'm gonna say.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I wish I could play.
What I was gonna say is
a guitar, instrument. You know, I mean, drums, something like
fair.
You know,
That's fair.
and also sing for sure. Like, I think that'd be great.
Ukulele.
I would love to be a skilled like camper where I could just like go out on a night or a weekend and like there's not any stress about it. I could just do it.
Just do it.
Not hard.
But like in the most
setting up the
extreme
tent
conditions though. No, I'm thinking like conditions that are like dangerous, but you can still just do it and it's like fine.
So you want survival skills.
But like it's like I could camp and that'd be like whatever. But like I'm saying like people are like, wow, that's crazy that you even tried that in that condition.
We'll be editing that out later, folks. I'm just kidding. I'm confused, but I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know how.
So
hard that is.
you're not talking about like all the like.
Anyone wants to go
I'm
in
talking about like Antarctica or something like where, like it's
okay.
like or like snowstorm. I don't know.
Skill. That's just stupid.
Yeah, why don't you go camping during that time?
There's a skill to that.
Kind of like ice fishing.
Clay did.
Yeah,
Clay did
you
ice
know about
fishing.
that one. You
know he did that, right?
Sick.
Did you see his
Yeah,
photos?
that's why I said that. No, Mom told me about though.
It didn't take much skill.
What about you,
I'd
Kellen?
be afraid I'd be going on the water.
There was some of that. Thinking I was going to fall through.
Exactly. Kellen, what about you? What do you wish you had?
I don't even know. I wouldn't mind being a little more athletic. Like, I'm decent, but like if you could just, I'm in Atlanta. Can I just pull up to like a park and just be able to hoop? These guys are way quicker and faster than me here. Like I'm a good role player on our flag football team. I'm a role player, but I'm not number one.
You used to be the man at the whatever this little school y'all went to.
The old co-op
in Iowa and Missouri. I was pretty good.
You were the number one player on the homeschool team.
Well, yeah.
Between you and Garrett and Gannon.
Yeah,
Throw
like
it deep
it was
to Gary.
me at quarterback and Gary as receiver. Gannon couldn't cover anything.
Gannon, he was like a little fast guy though, wasn't
he? Yeah, but he couldn't cover Gary in Gary's prime.
Gary's prime.
I
could now, dude. I'd smoke that guy now.
Hell, we'll figure that out in June.
I'd be a drop back quarterback. I couldn't move. Pressure's on. I'm going down.
Yeah, we'd be the
pretty.
What'd you just say? Offensive lineman? Yeah.
Yeah, we'd be the center and guard.
People will blow by you every play.
Yeah.
I was saying, I realize I'm a pretty killer basketball coach.
Coach?
Yeah, I'll coach like intramural games here.
Do you really? Look at you.
Yeah.
Clay used to
Pretty
coach.
bomb.
You all knew that, didn't you?
No, I didn't know that.
Thanks a lot for knowing a lot about me.
Yeah. This is Clay.
Wow.
I
No.
get it for money.
This is Clay, your uncle.
That's
Didn't know if you knew that.
What was your record?
I
Can
was
find your
wondering.
stats?
I wonder how you related to us.
Record. It was probably about 500, to be honest.
That's not bad. Yeah.
I had 1 year. 1 year, my team was 26. No, take that back. That's way too high. It was 18-4.
Dang.
Next year, I think I went 4-18.
Yeah. That's how it goes.
So stuff like that.
Well, the
Kind of a
Fox
Doc
Den
Rivers
Sports.
kind of guy.
What's that?
He's kind of a Doc Rivers.
Doc Rivers.
Looks real good. Everybody's real hyped. Then it's like, man,
Well, he looks
Man,
like.
Why did we get this guy?
He looks
I
like.
won it that 1 year.
He used to look like John. He used to look like John Calipari, but
What, I change?
yeah, you got a little bit more gray than Calipari does now.
You look like Scott Brooks' uncle.
Looks like who's the guy that used to coach Union and Owasso?
Bill Blankenship.
Blankenship. Somebody thought he was Bill Blankenship at the OU Alabama game back in what was that 2000?
You're kidding.
Yeah, he came up to me and goes, Did you guys win last night? I was like, what are you talking about?
when I was a kid, when I was a kid, I used to think you
I
looked like
had
Mike
coached football,
George.
but I wasn't coaching anymore. And I was like, what?
He's like trying to play it all cool and everything too.
Kept going
Yeah, and
on.
then he goes, aren't you the coach at Tulsa Union? I was like, no. And then I told Todd that, and he's like, God, you do look just like him.
You should have played it off.
Yeah, like they looked.
Yeah, this game was in Tuscaloosa, and he was thinking I was going to be in Tuscaloosa the day after Union played. So I was like, whatever, dude.
That's the greatest. Well, the Fox Den Sports Podcast would like to thank all of our listeners for listening to our podcast. Thank you very much. We need you to subscribe to our channel. We got a lot of listeners. We got a lot of subscriptions, but we could use more. So if you would, please do that. Follow us on Instagram. Go to X or Twitter or whatever it is now. But, yeah, go there as well. So we got for Clay, we got Gannon, Kellen. I'm Todd Fox. I want to appreciate everything. I want to remind everybody that iron sharpens iron. Please stay safe. Be savage, not average. And remember to join the skulk. And Kellen, what else?
Stay thirsty, my friends.
That's right. Stay thirsty, my friends. And until next time, everyone, good. Bye, everybody. Am I the only one that said it? All right.
Goodbye.
Boomer. Enjoy.
Sooner.
Thank you for listening to the Fox Den Sports Podcast. Be sure to subscribe for free to our YouTube channel, Fox Den Sports. And also follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Fox Den Sports and on Facebook at Fox Den Sports Podcast. You can also email us at foxdensports@yahoo.com. This has been Fox Den Sports.